Evet, sıradaki konuşmacımız R&M'den geliyor, Carsten Ludwig. Carsten, stage is yours.
Still have some energy, also upstairs, not only downstairs, but a lot of guys are already there still. Thank you. Yeah, my name is Carsten Ludwig. I'm the market manager for data center, and data center is somehow the topic also of the fair today. So I'm responsible in our company, R&M. I'll come to that in a second, to define the strategy, how we go into that market, how we can help you also as a customer, as a partner in the market, and to take the challenges what we have for sure in the data center, especially also with all these digitalization changes. Maybe shortly for those who don't know us, hopefully you know all of us. We are a company based, you see it from the picture, it's a Swiss-based company. We're found there, not 75 years, but next year we celebrate our 60-year anniversary. We are focused mainly coming from the connectivity, so most of you maybe know us with the fantastic connector RG45, so copper connectivity was one of the core technologies where we started. Then we moved into the fiber optics, first in the FTTX area, outdoor, later on also in the data center. We are globally present. You can find us nearly everywhere. And we have also globally productions where we can help also our customers. So when you have businesses which is not only in Turkey, but maybe also in Europe or in the Middle East or even up to Asia or Americas, we can work together. What is the scope? In a nutshell, and that would be maybe the only part talking about our portfolio, we are coming, as said, from the connectivity, and we have a lot of panels, and you can see them also when you come to our booth, what kind of solutions we have there for the copper and fiber. We have also racks, so that means we can put it also in a containment or single racks. So you know the solutions like modular DCs, edge, or even containment. So all of that is also now part of our portfolio. And beside that, we go also one level up within the racks. You can imagine, and you have heard now one partner in the power area. You have these cooling, these power pipes. You have also the fire solutions inside. So this will be part of our solutions also through partners. The overall header, that maybe might be a small differentiator also to other companies. We have a software which takes care then also for all these technologies. So most probably you know from some of the technology leaders in certain areas, they can give you the data for their areas, but not for everything. And our understanding is, and that's the software what we are providing with the IntelliFiNet, to give you the details also what you need in these respective technologies. So that's more or less in short R&M portfolio at the data center, and there I would like to stop. What the purpose of my presentation is, what could be the impact of these portfolio for the power topic. So that's my topic for today. As you might have heard now, okay, utilization with batteries and also power supply. Also in the morning there had been some discussions. The main driver on the power side is for sure also one fantastic indicator. Most of you love them already. It's a PoE. So the PoE, there are tons of ways how to calculate it. There's a number 1, number 2, number 3. You have different types how to get to that. And most of you know also that governments are also looking now much more detailed on the data centers, because data centers are spending a lot of energy. And in some areas even they have a constraint how to get more energy in megawatts for setting up new data centers. And here from that portfolio now, and that's now the bridge and the journey where I would like to take with you, is what could be the helping hand, although there's no power lost and no power used in that portfolio. Starting, and that's, let's say, what we face, every one of us, is the digitalization. Either it's in the business or even in the private life. You know, these fancy applications, what we have all on our handsets or what we are using in our businesses. So these applications, clearly they need data centers, and before they go into the data centers, you have to define the compute elements, so the storage, the switch, the computers, the servers. And then you have to think of, okay, how to combine them, because what you also see clearly, the data volume and the latency of the applications become much more critical, and that's a point then also what has to be reflected. So first point here, how could the architecture look like? And that's a point then for you when you plan something in the connectivity. How can you help there also in serving and helping utilizing the power consumption? One key point is the increase for sure of the data. So we are talking now 400 gig, 800 gig, which is in some areas already implemented. The next level will be the 1.6 teragig per fibers. So you have here a development which is coming and overtaking now, let's say, the communication structure in networks from a base 12 or 12 fiber structure to a base 8 or 8 fiber structure. So every one of you who are now planning new installations, or let's having a transition of a data center from a current situation to a new one with maybe adapted utilization, you have to think of how to transmit and transform your network. Key point is, and maybe you see that on the upper right side, are these translations of, let's say, electronics, let's say of the electronic signals into an optical one. And here is one key point: the more of them you use there, the more complex the structures, the more power you use. And that's one point here. Although, let's say, the cabling itself is not using power, you have to think of the network structure here, how to optimize it. So first area out of our portfolio where you can think of how to optimize your PoE. The second area, and we have seen here also in the neighbor room where there are a lot of rack samples. It's pretty obvious when these big machines are in the racks installed, these servers and switches, they are not only consuming energy, they would like to be also cooled down. And even this cooling effort becomes also in the future much more relevant when you think of AI solutions. The new AI machines from the respective IT suppliers, they even need now onboard cooling. So it's even not sufficient only to have the airflow within the rack, hot-cold ISO, but you need also an idea then how to get rid of the heat, let's say on the boards, and then from the boards away out of the racks. Here, pretty simple point, which has to be also reflected in the racks. Do you secure that the airflow is passing the machines which need the cold air? Or is it like some examples here shown with the arrows? Is it fading away? So is your cooling power what you have installed? And normally you align your cooling power with the consumption of the machines. Is it really aligned then? And does this flow show here that it's passing by? The other thing is, besides, let's say, taking care that it's passing by, also you have the right pressure and for sure also the right volume of the air. One example how you can screw up also the PoE. Let's imagine you're ramping down the power consumption of your room cooling. And what will happen? Clearly the temperature on the IT equipment is then increasing. What are they doing? The machines, they have all on the back maybe a 100, 200 watt fan. So they start to run their fans. Clearly from the calculation point of view, you can say, okay, the IT equipment is using more power. The cooling equipment, which is adjacent installation, is using less power. So your PoE is improving because the divider is increasing. But on the other side, you're consuming much more power. So that's one maybe simple example, adjacent also to the cooling point, how you can trick this PoE calculation when you don't respect the relations between each technology installed. Coming to the third one, this is based on our software solutions, what we have. So we can offer here software which can help you already in the beginning of the planning. And this is what we think of also, especially for data centers, which are highly complex, consisting of several technologies. The complexity, the interference between these technologies has to be reflected already right in the beginning. And the earlier you have also a digital twin to accompany that process, the better it will be at the end also for the operations. So what we suggest is already in the planning phase, when you have your grid or your design from the architect, from the room, from the building, really to start there already with a digital approach that you put there in how it looks your data center. So how's the order of the racks, what should be in, what do you need then based on the criteria, also what I mentioned before. So how do you connect then also your IT equipment, and where do you need the cabling? The other thing is when you do it like that, based on the drawing, and that's our offering, you get also equally to the drawing a BOM. So normally when you work with consultants, with planners, they use normally a Visio shape and a Visio approach, and then they have to translate it into an Excel. So, and as you know, when you translate something between two tools, there's an easy way to make mistakes. So therefore here, we can offer you, when you make the drawing here with your customer or together with your consultant, you have them precisely also the equipment what is there drawn into that. Based on that, that's also here on the bottom, you can create also the work orders, and later on when you have defined what should be installed and how to install it. The other thing is, and that's the second part where normally data center operation managers should use software. So on the one side, clearly the planning until you have it installed, and having then also a clue about what is installed. So here we can give a helping hand with the asset tracking approach, where we say when you have everything digitalized, you can easily, and you can have seen that also in other businesses, plug there a code, a QR code, similar type, where you can then easily scan what is in, what is not in. So maybe some of your operation managers told you already, oh, where's my server? What's the server date? What's the quality of the software and so on? When you easily ramp down the asset management and let's say have that tracking, you can quickly say, okay, is it already there? And then also combining with the digital data of the installed base, is it then the correct one, or is there an alarm, okay, I have to do something? On the other side, and that's coming now not only with the PUE, but also with other KPIs, the complexity most probably can't be measured or managed also in the future with a long range, let's say, of monitors, how it looks like today still in some of the data centers. So you have also to think of and help your customers how to get, and let's say to manage the complexity in the future. So a lot of guys, even like the Socomec guys, they have a lot of sensorics inside. So you could imagine then, okay, how can I manage that? How's the interference and also with the cooling? What are other dimensions which I have to respect in one shot? So there, I would recommend then also for you, take a software approach, take all the data from the data center through the sensorics, through SNMP or other interfaces to get the status, what is happening in your data center, and then developing slowly on top of that, then also the intelligence to give the operation manager a helping hand, not only through alarms, but also through also KPIs which already indicate that there is something which has to be done and has to be managed. So there are charts today. We have also mobile apps, so it could be also the point not only being in front of the rack, but also being, let's say, on the plate, on the side of the data center, and to have that overview. Summarizing, so these constraints of the market, so it's for sure I focus now today on the power topic. You know, the other two ones are clearly space, and the other thing is people. So how to manage a data center, do we have enough guys? And even for the people topic and the lack of resources, even there you can also use then the software approach. The other thing is really, I would like to encourage you really to start from the beginning when it comes to the planning. What is the application? What is really the use case of the end customer who's in the data center? And then incorporate that also of the lifetime of the application into that usage. Don't neglect the connectivity, because connectivity maybe in the past wasn't a big issue, because with fiber optics you can manage nearly every data volume, but it will become a topic, especially with the volume and with the latency, which are driven by the applications which are in the data center. And last but not least, think of these interdependencies between these technologies like cooling, power, and also the space. That's all from my side. Thank you for your time.